To a story with significant developments now. Two men, a father and son, have been denied bail in the Groblersdal court. Piet Groenewald and his son, Stephan Greeff, were arrested last month for allegedly assaulting Veneruru Kavari, a security guard working for them. They both face a charge of attempted murder. Nqobile Madlala is there. Nqobile, good afternoon to you. What's happened there this afternoon?
Well, Stephen, from what the magistrate has said, he's denied bail for the two men, saying that it's not in the interest of justice to allow them to go out, of course. And he's read a long list talking about the fact that they do have right to bail, but based on the fact that there's safety issues that has been pronounced, of course, by the IO as well as the state and so on. And he went into great detail about what has happened. But I want to bring in the NPA now to just sort of give us an idea. I mean, we already know that bail application has been denied, but if you could give us great details.
Yes, indeed, the bail was denied here in Groblersdal Magistrate Court regarding the two suspects who have done the assault of GBH. And the court has mentioned that there is a likelihood for the applicant to interfere with the state witness, as it's got the details of when the complainant was taken with their vehicle to Middleburg and was brought back here to Groblersdal. And the complainant was instructed by the people who was unknown to him to go and report it to the police officers. And what does this mean for NPA? We welcome this bail judgment, because we were opposing the case from the start. We know now that there is another case which has been needed because of this matter, and the people are going to appear on Thursday. They've already arrested 4 people.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. And of course, we want to bring in now SAfu, who wants to speak to us about such issues. SAfu, what does this mean for the bail application to be denied?
Look, we are very much relieved that the perpetrators have been denied bail. However, we could not say this is the end of the road. We will be very glad if at the end a conviction is secured. However, we want to emphasize what the presiding officer indicated in court, the concern that he raised about a junior police officer being allocated to this task when we have experienced police officers, also about a junior NPA official being allocated to this case, that those kind of tendencies can at the end maybe bring litigation to court. However, we are glad and then we are relieved. We hope for a serious conviction at the end of the day.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. And so we understand that, of course, ANC has also been out here just calling for that there be no bail release for the two. How do you feel now that there's been a denial?
We are quite much relieved, but of course our confidence in our justice system has been reconfirmed. That we have always said there have always been some doubts around Groblersdal in particular court, where we thought things will not be processed properly. But I must say, seated here as the leadership of the ANC in the region, we are quite very happy with the outcomes.
We know that they're coming back on the 11th of March. What can we expect from ANC from now going forward?
You must expect mother of all marches.
May I ask why is it going to be such an important time to do such a march?
Look, we have always been saying, if you go around the province and you compare the attitude of white people in particular with the white people who are here in this town of Groblersdal, you will understand why we have to do everything in our power to send a message to say we can't continue with these things. The white people in this particular town, they behave like they are alpha and omega, and we have to stop that, because they must start to learn to coexist with everybody.
And I mean, in the morning we were speaking to some of the community members here, and they were saying that they'd like this case to be rather treated as a crime and not just on racial bylines. I hear you saying that it's more of a racial thing. Are you not thinking of it as a crime at this point? No,
it is a crime, but it's a crime that is perpetuated by the racial divisions. It is, of course, a crime. We can't say it's not a crime. It's a crime. But it's a crime that is what gave courage to these people to commit this crime is, first of all, is issue of the person. And that this person is a black person, this is a white person. Therefore, this one feels more superior to this one. And therefore, the crime was committed, encouraged by that. So you can't separate the two.
And this is not because of the fact that this is the time to vote and people are using this perhaps as a way to remind people that it's voting time?
I guess you are not new in this company which you are working for. I guess you are new, you are not new. Because if you are not new, you will know that last year or last year, we were here on the almost similar case where a young boy was assaulted by this boy in this town. So there's no question about votes. We have our own space to campaign for votes. We are doing that as the ANC in the province, as the ANC in the region. We've been doing that. But we can't look away when this type of crime are committed because we are afraid that media will say it's voting, it's campaigning or something like that. We are here because our brother has been treated badly.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. Well, of course, speaking about those issues, Stephan, that we heard in court, as they were saying that this could be all about politics and perhaps political campaigning, talking about the fact that it's been politicized so greatly, this entire case. But of course, now I see EFF is here, and perhaps can we get your view in terms of what this means for bail to be denied?
Thank you, the viewers of South Africa. I'm the councillor of EFF under Elias Mzwaledi. As the EFF, we are very much pleased about the decision about the decision that the magistrate took. We as the EFF, we say that even though it was not enough, but we say at least this is the start of the beginning. We as the EFF, we condemn any means of apartheid. We do not tolerate. Hence, this kind of incident, we were the first party to expose this kind of apartheid. That in Groblersdal we are suppressed under, or this is kind of the issue or the situation that we have to tolerate day in and day out. We as the EFF, we are called in farm to farm to help our fellow brothers and sisters in this such situation whereby white farmers are suppressing our people. We as the EFF, we are the vanguard of the people. Hence, we will never stop now.
You say this is not enough. What would be enough?
Well, I think the magistrate outlined or tried to show that this case it was been trying to be sabotaged from the word go. Hence, that's why he outlined that the case should have been given to senior officials instead of being given to juniors. The juniors, they were given this case because the aim was for them to fail so that the Groenewald families can gather the bail.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. Well, of course, that jubilation just taking place where we are. You can see the police just ensuring that there's no movement closer to court, but there's quite a lot of activities, as you can see, that's taking place right on the inside. But what we're hearing here is that quite a lot of political parties saying that this is not political, but rather they are concerned with the way that people in this area specifically are treated. We have heard already in court with the defense arguing that this court case is really just a mere case against an employee and an employer, and it has now been inflated into a political thing, and this is because, of course, they felt that this is the year where politics comes into play. But what we're hearing here is that the ANC, the EFF, everybody speaking in one voice, saying that it's important to treat this as a crime, but also to ensure that such doesn't happen again. We're hearing from EFF also speaking about the fact that they've been called to quite a number of farms where such incident has taken place. Just earlier on, we spoke to community leaders that also explained to us that such incidents are nothing rare in this community. But of course, there's quite a lot that happens in the community, which is why we saw some of the clashes that were taking place. And on the sidelines of that, Stevens, is that we also see another court case that is already unraveling. This is mainly because there was those clashes with the police officials, and as a result we're seeing more and more people arrested there, and at this point we understand about 4 of them has been arrested, and of course those activities will continue here on the ground.
Nqobile Madlala, thank you very much indeed. Developing story, of course, she's on the ground there. She'll keep an eye on more developments there as well. In a moment, a conversation around the Electoral Matters Bill ahead of our elections.